Hello, I'm Georgia Harrod, Senior Concept Designer based in the UK, and I'm here to share with you another of our Lunch and Learn presentations today. This is the latest presentation that we've created based around the rugs concept and the Iggy Islands design concept. We launched this presentation during Clerkenwell Design Week this year, and it was really successful. And you're going to probably recognise some pages in this presentation which we've borrowed from the inspiration injection presentation that came before, just because some of those pages are still really relevant for the ways that we want to talk about how you can kind of utilise Highline to create rugs within a space and kind of build upon that Iggy Islands concept. So let's get straight into it. Welcome to today's Lunch and Learn. It's all based around the newest concept, which is Iggy Islands, our new rugs concept. We're going to take a look at some recent trends and how they've influenced this concept, as well as introduce you to a new design visualization tool as well. So the overarching theme that we've seen kind of coming through across workplace design and hospitality for the last few years now is creating these really homely feeling spaces, much more intimate feeling spaces. And we've kind of seen a rise in the way that we're using area rugs to create a sense of delineation within these spaces, to really soften these spaces and create a sense of destination within these spaces. These become like a little island to kind of sit yourself on within the space. Hence the name Iggy Islands. So we've created 3 different ways to kind of navigate Iggy Islands. We've got customized islands, designer islands, and color islands. So beginning with customized islands, this is where we can work with you to create a really special design, a really bespoke design, and maybe even a bespoke color palette as well. So the best way to showcase this is to show you a couple of case studies. The first being this project with which we've collaborated with Studio Other Spaces for the Spatial Solidarities exhibition in Switzerland, which started at the end of last year. The Iggy design team worked with the Studio Other Spaces team to actualise their concept of this kind of map that visualises the movements of the Alps. So custom colour palettes were developed here, which you can see alongside the large samples in the imagery. And we've worked with a huge amount of layers and complex map details, which the Highlines technology of the Minitron machine is perfect for allowing these really super crisp details. You can also see on the right-hand side here a little sneak peek of the kind of full shape of the design. It's a circle with a kind of area cut out of it. And that's because the shape we're putting it into, there was a column within the central space. So we can work with you as well, not only on custom patterns and custom colours, but to create custom shapes that work within the limitations of the space you're designing for as well, which you can see in situ here. So this is a very large rug, and the Minitron machine is 4 meters wide. So for this specific project, we actually created 2 separate pieces and they were hand finished on site. So even when we have, again, limitations of space or much bigger spaces to deal with, we can still help you navigate and find a solution for that. And for this project, which is the autograph collection by Marriott, the architect wanted to create these custom rugs which reflected the rich kind of architecture of the building and the use of precious materials. So they wanted to transfer the visual impact and similarity that you kind of get from like a genuine marble slab into these custom rug patterns. So which we've then developed and turned into different colorways and tones for different areas of the hotel. So there's a sense of kind of uniformity throughout the space, but each one is unique in its own way. And then finally, we have the Accor office in Dubai, which is a really beautiful example of this ever-growing trend of creating warmer, more homely feeling work environments. We've got a real kind of eclectic feel here with the custom rugs which reflect more kind of traditional patterns whilst maintaining the durability needed for the workplace because they're made, on the Minitron machine with the Highline technology. And we've also got lots of unique pattern play going on here, as well as you can see, more customized shapes as well. So for those wanting to access something special and bespoke feeling for as little as 4 square meters, we can actually look to one of our 4 standard color palettes to recolor some kind of more set standard Highline designs. So we don't need to have fully customized designs to create something that feels bespoke. So these four colour palettes that we have can be used to recolour any of our Highline Express or designer collections at no extra charge. So it leaves you with thousands of designs to choose from, and they're organised by category or designer. So this ability to recolour and update our patterns, keeping them new and exciting, lets us be really creative and reactive to these upcoming trends that we see across industry shows. So we can be really clever with the way that we recolour, and use them in kind of new ways to create entirely different feeling designs from the originals. So you can see here we've started to play around with some recolours based off of the trends we've seen at Milan and Copenhagen this year with these kind of more bold pastel shades. And then we've selected our most kind of appropriate designs to follow this vibrant neutrals trend that we've seen reoccurring for a while now. So again, recolouring is great for these more kind of bold trend-led pieces, but it's also great when we want to look at more kind of specific neutral colours that we need to match for a base. So in the top left, you can see here, this is Highline Hemp, and we can create a couple of different recolours here, looking to the specific colour palette to get the perfect neutral for you, and use that as a kind of commercial tile base for like a work floor. And then we can work with these more kind of intricate and bold highline pattern designs to bring in injections of colour into your breakout spaces, your soft seating areas, or maybe like a bigger boardroom, for example. And through our recoloring tool, we can then kind of select new placements for colours and merge areas to create the look of a brand new design that fits into these trends that we're seeing. So here we've got some more standard designs that we've reimagined for this kind of more playful trend and these curved trends that we've seen kind of again reoccurring for the last few seasons now. And some of you may already be familiar with the way that the recoloring tool works on the website, but we have a very quick demo here just to show you how different a recolor can look from the original design. So once you've found your design on the website, you're going to click on Recolor and Downloads, and it brings up this box. So here you can see the original colors in the design, and then you can change the palette from one standard palette to another. And then the light bulb will show you which areas of the design that you're changing. And you can see here we're kind of changing the colour position, so flood filling three of those positions with the same colour to create something that feels much more kind of pared back and in keeping with the trends that we're seeing with these kind of curves and neutrals. And then you can use the room visualizer to kind of see that design in situ. And then here you have the opportunity to get downloaded versions of all of these. So you've got a PDF print of the design, the high-res JPEG, as well as kind of like a more textured reference as well. So all of that could be in your inbox within just a few minutes. And then here you can see some more kind of snapshots of what that before and after looks like with this kind of funky wave design. So the original one is sat in the middle here. And then on the left, you can see the recolor that we just created on the website together. And then another recolor that you can see on the right-hand side, where we've actually just taken the standard colors from the original design and switched the positions around and kind of reversed the whole pattern. So you can see here, just by playing around with the position of colours in this standard design, we've got three quite different looking patterns. They all feel unique and would look very different in lots of different spaces. But these are all just standard recolours from the original. And then we can also help with kind of redirecting designers to find easily customized designs to suit different trends. So this is a really good one. The color blocking design works really well for the kind of playful and vibrant trend that we've seen. So the original here is in the bottom right. So it's very, very vibrant, very bold, multicolour design. In the center, you can see we've kind of pared that back for this office setting. So still the same kind of amount of color positions, but a much more pared back palette. And then on the left-hand side, you can see we've kind of done similar to what we did in the demo, where we've kind of removed different positions and recolored them in the same colorway. So the pattern becomes more pared back and kind of more minimal in the amount of different colors within the color blocking design. So again, lots of different ways to access one pattern with lots of different outcomes. So those are just a few examples of how we can kind of make these trend-led designs accessible on these smaller scale projects and rugs, where typically we don't have the opportunity to work with a big amount of square meterage, but we have more opportunity to play with kind of a more experimental colour palette or a bolder pattern. So hopefully you can see here that there's a lot of scope to create something that feels really unique and bespoke within our standard ranges. And then we can start to apply this kind of bespoke feeling design to different spaces. So boardrooms, breakout spaces, and even kind of more residential communal spaces and corridors as well. So that is customized islands, leading now on to designer islands. And this is where you'll see all of our collaborations with different designers throughout our kind of EG portfolio. So as with everything you see in the EG library, any pattern is available as a rug. However, a selection of each designer collaboration have been made available to use in a more direct way with the new tool that we'll be showing you later on in the presentation. So we're just going to kind of introduce you to each of these designers and the collections that you will find within the visualization tool. So we have Laura and Linnea, whose most recent collaboration with Iggy brought us the beautiful She collection, which sits within the kind of Colourtech 100% Wool collection, as well as the Reform a New Wave collection. Nicolette Brunklaus created the Canvas Collage collection, which is a really nice collection of beautiful kind of natural textures and inspiring kind of natural patterns. And then we have Tom Dixon, which again, a firm favourite for everyone. Really nice selection of already very popular patterns in lots of different colourways. Then we have Christian Lacroix, which is more kind of luxe, high-end hospitality feeling designs. And then we have the Carol Appleton collections. We have Reform Shadow Play here, so for the kind of more workplace-focused design spaces, as well as the Manganese Editions Reform Transition, where you can play with seed, leaf and fibre here. So you've got all the different patterns and textures to play with. And then there's also a couple of patterns from the Iggy Design Studio, which you'll find within the kind of Highline standard patterns. So we've got velvet, patchwork and giant marble to play with here. So these pages will all kind of make more sense when we show you the visualization tool later on in the presentation. And that takes us on to our colour islands concept, which explores kind of more solid colours and new textures that we've introduced as well. So within this collection, we also have the Eco range, which is designed with Marguerite Odgaard, another designer we've collaborated with, to create 56 colours, which are all inspired by natural minerals and gemstones. And then we also have newer, deeper pile qualities that are giving a range of kind of rich and soft colours. We've got Grace and Lush in particular, which are beautiful new textures that we're adding to the collection. And we have more subtle textural selections as well for a kind of softer, more residential feel in these 100% wool qualities, which are really beautiful. So just before we show you the rug creator tool, the last element of Iggy Islands to talk about is, of course, shape. So of course, as well as all the key color trends and pattern trends that we look into, there's key shapes that we see as kind of an overarching theme for a few seasons now. In particular, this kind of curves and circles and pills shapes, kind of softening spaces, creating a sense of kind of being embraced and cocooned within a space. And in general, we've seen a more playful approach with shape and colour across furnishings and decor. And this is, of course, spilled into the kind of shapes and delineation of space that we see across the floors as well, that we can create with rugs. So as we saw at the beginning of the presentation, with customized islands, we're able to create pretty much any shape, any size for your spaces. So we can develop that with you alongside your account manager. And there's kind of two different tiers to custom shapes. So for anything like what you can see on the screen here, we'd work with you and to kind of create these more custom shapes using DWG files and your kind of specific measurements. But we also now have the Iggy Islands Rug Creator, where any of the designer islands and colour islands that we've shown you today are available in set custom shapes with 87 different edge options, which we can show you within the Rug Creator tool now. So again, we have a little demo just to show you how this works. So if you go to the main website and you click on Try Our Rug Creator, you'll be taken to the rugs page, and here again you can be led through to the brand new Rug Creator website. So here it's going to pop up straight away and show you every single option available within the Rug Creator. So that's going to show you all the designs from the designer collections that we introduced you to today and the colour islands, and you can filter by all these different elements along the top of the screen. So by colour, by quality, by designer. So for this demo, we're going to look at Laura and Linea's collection. So here you'll find Reform a New Wave, as well as the She collection in a selection of the different colours available in the full collection. And then it's going to show you this within the room visualizer, and you've got the toolbar along the top. So the first one shows you all the different shapes you have to choose from, which is 15 different shapes, including 2 different runners. The next box along is going to play with dimension. So here you have the option to use the sliding scale to change the width and the length independently from each other. You can also type in specific numbers if you have really specific measurements to match. You can go up to 4 meters wide and 6 meters in length. So quite big rugs to play with here. Once you're happy with that, you can then actually go back and look at more collections and colours. It could be that actually the colour you chose isn't quite right. So let's try something a little different, maybe something a little bit more colourful. And the next box along allows you to play with different edge options. So it's going to show you anything that's recommended with the selection that you've made. And the next box along will show you the different colours available within that as well. So you can go for something that's like a true colour match, or you can go for something a little bit more contrasting. And then you can change the view. So here you can see in detail. Isolated allows you to kind of click and drag and move the rug around. So you can see it at all different angles. And then as you saw, we've got a couple of different rooms to choose from. So the first default is the hotel room, but then we also have concept store, hotel foyer, and an office as well. So depending on the rug type and size and shape that you've chosen, some rooms will kind of be more suited to your design than others. And then from there, you can literally save down your designs very similarly to how you would with the recoloring tool on the original website. Just tick all the boxes, put your information in, and you'll be able to receive high resolution imagery for the rug that you've chosen, the room visualization, and the information on the rug that you've created as well. And that will be with you in just a few minutes, and it will look like this. So that is a very kind of whistle-stop tour of the way that we can work with you to create new rugs within the kind of Iggy Islands concept. We can also share all of the latest trend reports with you from the last year, year and a half. We've got lots of different reports available, as well as trend injection brochures for these different trends. We can share all of that with you, so you've got that kind of full inspiration to play with. And if you have any other questions, please let us know. Thank you for listening. I hope you found this useful.